No experience with clay at all, so this is my first time. Satisfying.
Yeah.
This is so smooth. It's easy to like make it do what you want though.
This is always like a super relaxing part of it as well.
Yeah.
Like, slap it along like that.
Cool. How do I do?
Okay, so I'm gonna go onto our base coat. Which we don't have. So before today, have you done any clay before or any pottery classes or anything like that? Any experience with clay?
No experience with clay at all. So this is my first time.
Okay, and how are you feeling about it?
A little, not nervous, that sounds dramatic. Like unsure that I'll be able to do it well. I've just, never given it a go.
Okay, well, I can assure you that you definitely will be able to. It's great. No, it's so, once you pick it up and get used to working with it, it's so much fun and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Have you seen any like inspo or anything online? Because I follow so many like crafting accounts and it's all I watch essentially on socials.
Yeah, that kind of stuff always comes up on like my Instagram and TikTok feed and stuff. And
yeah,
it's always really satisfying to watch, and they're making really cool things and painting them really cool colours and all of that stuff. So I enjoy watching it, but I've never tried it myself or taken that step. I feel like I probably wouldn't be able to do like make something out of clay well or do it very neatly, whereas like everything I see online is like really nicely done. So I think that's why I probably haven't given it a go.
It feels a bit daunting.
Yeah,
it's easy to feel like that, but no, it's going to be great. I can assure you, you're going to be great. Okay, well we've got our potted kit with us today, so feel free to open that up. And we can take a look at what's inside. I'm going to take you through how to make a photo stand today, so it's a really like simple, easy thing to start with. It's a good gift. It's a good gift for your friends, and
Perfect. It's quite a weighty box.
Okay, cool. So we've got your guide in there. That's got like a load of instructions of different things you can make. And then you'll have your bag with all of your tools in it.
And will I need to use all of these?
No.
Okay.
You won't need all of these for this one. It's like a really simple project. You've got your paints.
Yeah,
your acrylic paints, which we'll get to.
And some clay.
So you've got 2 bags of clay, and then your paintbrushes.
Nice.
Your base coat and your gloss. First thing you want to do with your clay is you want to make sure that there's like no air bubbles or anything in it, because that can lead to cracking. And when things are completely dry, it just doesn't work and it's really disappointing. So you kind of want to work your clay in a little bit before you get started. So you want to take about half of your clay to start with.
Will we need to use all of it?
No, we won't need to use all of it. Half is even too much, but it's always best to use a little bit more, because then you can decide how thick you want to make it as well.
Do you just rip it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's all good. And then basically you just want to knead it like dough for a little bit. Just to make it, this makes it kind of all a solid colour, it gets rid of any air bubbles, and if there are any like cracks or anything like this that show, don't worry about that. You basically will smooth everything over with water. It's completely normal for that to happen, and just adding a bit of water and using your paintbrush or a sponge will completely solve it. So yeah, once you've worked your clay in a little bit, you can put it down on your mat. Basically you just want to work it into a ball, so after a while, just like slap it all around like that.
How's that?
Perfect. Just keep going around these edges a little bit, just like.
It's quite satisfying.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Okay, just pop it in the center of your mat, and then you're going to want to take your rolling pin and just kind of like use gentle pressure, use both hands down into the center of the ball, and then just slowly roll it back and forth. And if it's kind of like being a bit stubborn at one end, you can kind of replace it there and kind of then smooth it out as you go. And then once you've kind of got it to this stage,
like that?
Yeah, just maybe start it there and then keep an even pressure down. Yeah, perfect. And then you're going to want to turn it around to the other side and basically just do exactly the same thing. You want to make the base of your photo stand. So this is what we're making the base at the moment.
Yeah.
I always recommend keeping it at least ½ centimetre thick, if not more, just because otherwise you don't want it to be super fragile or break or anything like that. So I would recommend keeping it ½ centimetre at least. I'm going to make mine probably a little bit thicker. But just, keep working until you've got a fairly nice, flat, even, smooth surface. And you can keep turning it around if you need to.
It's sloping a bit at the moment.
That's okay. You've got a nice flat center, and it won't be like sort of much bigger than that. But you can, yeah, just keep turning it, and then keep kind of like reworking it.
It's so smooth.
I know, it's so satisfying. The next stage, so this is going to be the base of the photo stand, but you get to decide the shape that it's going to be, whether you want it like a circle or like a squiggle. I like to do like an abstract sort of shape, but instead of doing it straight onto the clay, I always recommend drawing it on a piece of paper, cutting it out as a stencil, and then pressing it down, because it just makes it so much easier, and it means you can mess up your stencil and it doesn't have to, you've not changed your clay, whereas I've done it so many times where I've done it straight onto the clay, had to rub it out, and it's just really long. So just, it can be any size as long as it fits within your clay, and any shape you like. You can make it completely abstract. So I normally do, my favorite one to do is like a squiggle. So I do it like 5 like that, so it kind of looks like a splat of paint. Oh, cool. So that's what I usually do when I make them.
I'll do that
as
well.
It's completely up to you. So have you never done any clay before?
Only when I was a lot younger.
Okay.
I'm thinking like Play-Doh days.
Nice. Do you think it could be a new hobby outside of work?
I think it'd be a good fun thing to do like with friends in the evenings, like a extra activity other than just like having dinner or something. Definitely. I've done so many like craft weekends and like craft nights with my friends. It's so fun. Yeah, it's a good idea. And then everyone gets like to have something at the end of it to remember it by.
Exactly.
It kind of looks like, I don't know, actually it doesn't really look like anything.
Okay. So then you press it down and then take this tool and use the sharper end to create an outline all the way around, your stencil.
This is also really satisfying, this bit.
Perfect. And then once that's kind of outlined, you can peel away your stencil, and then we're going to use the knife tool to properly cut it out. Oops. Don't worry if you kind of like cut any edges or mess up, because like everything can be fixed with a little bit of water and just by like smudging it together with your finger. It's super easy.
That's good.
If any edges are still attached, obviously just be a little bit gentle so it doesn't pull. And you can always go back over it if you need the knife tool again. You good? There we go. Okay, perfect. So what you want to do is take one of your paintbrushes, take whichever one you feel most comfortable using.
I'll go for this one.
Okay, perfect. And then you want to dip it into your water. You don't want to kind of like drench it, but you just want it to be damp. Yeah. And then you want to just start by working the edges. So any edge here where there's kind of like any missing clay or it's like uneven, we just want to smooth it all out and like completely even that all up. So yeah, just dip your paintbrush into the water.
So I want the edges to be rounded.
Essentially, yeah. So I would just break the paintbrush up a little bit into the water so it's wet, and then perfect. And then you can just use, I would turn your brush actually to be the lengthways, so you can go like that. So then it kind of covers both edges and gets the edge at the same time. And this isn't a stage that needs rushing, like it's always one that I really advise taking your time on, really working on it to get it looking exactly how you want it to look. It doesn't need to be rushed, and it's one of those things that the longer you take on it, it will look a little bit better.
You're right, this is very satisfying.
Honestly, it is, and the sponge. Once you add the sponge, it just looks great. It looks so smooth. Yeah, so this will take a little bit of time. You're going to gift this to someone.
I'm thinking about it. I'll see how much I like it, because if I really like it, I'm going to want to keep it and put it on my
that's so true. And feel free to kind of like drag. If you have too much water, you can just pull it across the top. Okay. Because the whole piece will need smoothing anyway. So you can kind of spread it out. It doesn't all need to be just on the edges. We're just working the edges right now. We'll turn it around in a second as well and do the other side.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's really important to always do both sides, because often once you've kind of like rolled a piece of clay out, the other side could have like little cracks or things in it that you don't know about, and you might not think about it. It's so easy to forget. Cool. That looks great. Okay, so if you just want to gently pick it up from whichever side feels easiest. And turn it over. So you'll see ours are the same. Like they've got like kind of just like it's an uneven texture and like a few cracks and bits, and you just want to make sure you get rid. So you're just going to repeat exactly what you just did. Do you want the bigger brush?
Yeah, I'll start with that one.
So yeah, just repeat exactly what you just did using a bit of water, and then it just is a good opportunity to then kind of round both sides as well, so it's even on both sides. And if anything is if there are any cracks that are too big that the paintbrush and water just isn't working, you can just use your finger as well. Just like really gently smudge it all together and go over and over it, and that will kind of blend it all together and create a bond.
Cool.
Perfect. So you'll just want to go over this one more time with, probably won't need to add any more water, just brush it to make it completely smooth, and then this is where you could, and this is where you can then use your sponge to get like a really smooth finish. So you can just dip your sponge into the water. I'll just show you on mine, but you just want it to be like slightly damp, and then you can just go over it like this, and that's like the last smoothing step, and it just makes it completely smooth all the way around. So we've got our base of our photo stands. This is going to be what sits on wherever you choose to put it. We need to create like a long slit to hold the photo. So we're going to create a slit to hold it, and then we're going to create some sort of shape that sits behind it to be like a rest. So that it can sit in an angle and it won't kind of like fall down, or there's no risk of it escaping. So you can decide now where you want your slit to go. So I feel like it could go like long ways down that, or it could go like diagonally, or like however you want it to be.
I'm thinking, I quite like the diagonal idea.
Yeah?
Like that.
Yeah. So then I would take this, and again use the sharper end, and to begin with I would just faintly trace it, just so you know, because if you faintly trace it and you don't like where it is, it's really easy to smudge back over. So I would just faintly trace it, and I would make it about 10 centimeters long if you... I would make it from about there, maybe not 10 centimeters actually, to there. Something like that, because you don't want it to be too small, and if it's bigger than your photo, it doesn't matter.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Cool.
Amazing. And then you're going to want to smooth it out. So you take your small brush.
Thank you.
You can add a tiny bit of water, and then just smooth it. Go inside it, and then smooth the edges essentially. Yeah, that's perfect. That looks great. Amazing. I'll just do mine quickly if I can borrow the brush. And then we're going to make a rest for it. So the rest can be like any shape you want it to be. I've done a couple where I've just created a little ball out of clay and stuck it on the bottom, and it's just been like a little ball, or I've made like a rectangle of it, or I've made it look like a ramp, like whatever you prefer. I'm going to do it like a little ball, but it's completely up to you. What are you thinking?
I was thinking about doing a little heart, but is that a bit ambitious?
No, you can do a heart. You can definitely do a heart. Yeah?
Cool. How do I do that?
Okay, so I'd rip off a bit of clay, about this much.
Okay. Yeah.
And then roll it into a ball. And then you're going to want to press it down, kind of like this, but you're going to want it to be quite thick.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah, perfect. And then I would use this tool again just to outline your heart. And what I would do is I'd keep a flat surface, because you want it to be flat here. With a point of a heart, that's just going to be so difficult to attach. So if you wanted to do a heart, it would need to be the top. But down onto a flat surface like that.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Thank you. What's that?
Perfect. Yeah, when you're happy with that, then you can go in with the knife and kind of just gently cut it out. Yeah, so that's really nice. It'll be like a really nice kind of like big heart at the back.
Yeah, it's very thick.
Yeah, that's great though, because that means it will be a good support.
Yeah.
As that will just be easier to just gently from the top, so I'm not squishing the top bit of the heart. But yeah, and then just whilst you're holding it, I would just go around with your brush.
Okay.
And smooth out the edges. It looks great though. I think that will look really good.
Thanks. Fingers crossed. It's easy to like make it do what you want though.
Yeah, it's really easy workable.
Okay, I think I'm happy with that.
Okay, amazing. So to attach 2 pieces of clay,
Yeah.
the best thing to do is something called the slip score technique, which helps create like a really strong bond between 2 pieces of clay.
Yeah.
So what that is essentially on both bits that you're trying to join, you want to create like a cross hatch pattern, and then you add water, and then you join it, and it creates like a really strong bond. So what that looks like is, I'll demonstrate on mine, is you go in diagonal lines one way like that, and then you go over the same patch and go the other way, and you repeat that twice until you have that looks like that.
Okay.
And then you use your paintbrush and a little bit of water to just dab in, so you make it soft like that, and that's kind of then like super adhesive. And you basically do exactly the same thing to the thing you're wanting to join.
Yeah.
So I've made a little ball which is going to be my stand, so I'll do exactly the same thing, create a crosshatch pattern on there, do it one way, do it the other way, and then you repeat over it. You add a tiny bit of water,
Okay.
and then you place it down, and it kind of, you very gently, like, don't add too much pressure here, because you obviously, your heart, you won't want to squash it.
No.
But you just really gently add a little bit of pressure to kind of like bond it, and then you can go around with your brush and smooth out. If you've gone too far out with the slip score, it's absolutely fine. You can just brush over it and smooth it out. But you then know that you've kind of made enough of an area to create a really nice strong bond between those 2 pieces of clay. And you can just tidy it up with your brush.
Cool.
Perfect. Yep, and then just pop it down together. Great, and then I would go around with your brush,
Yeah.
and then kind of smooth out any areas, and like here where you've got, where you can see that it's joining there and there, you can blend those 2 bits together, so then they're kind of it's like a seamless join. Yeah, I would just, go over the bottom bit. If you ever have, when you're worried where it's joining here, and you're worried it's perhaps not bonded enough, you can use this end of this tool.
Okay.
This is like a blending tool to help blend 2 bits together. So I would actually recommend using that on the back here, where the 2 bits are joining. I would just to create a smoother finish, I would turn your mat, not your lovely piece. It looks great. I love the heart. That was a good idea. It's a really good idea. So now this clay takes like 24 to 40 hours to dry, and then when it is dry, it is ready to paint and decorate.
Fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yours looks great. I love it.
you.
I love the heart idea. I think it looks so good. How are you feeling about it? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm quite proud that I've managed to make it look so like smooth and like
and the heart just looks so good. I think once you get a photo in that, it's going to look great.
No,
I love it.
I'm excited to see how it'll like look finally once it's all painted and everything.
Yeah. Was it easier than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And all the equipment was really easy to use. It was a really simple process.
Yeah.
And very relaxing and enjoyable from start to finish.
What was your favourite part? The smoothing?
The smoothing, for sure.
Always the best
With the
part.
big paintbrush, it was great.
We've got a bit of a blue pizza moment here. It's one I made earlier.
Wow.
So I'm going to take you through the next steps whilst our other pieces are drying.
Okay.
I can show you how to base coat it, and you can decorate this one, so then once your other one is dry, you'll know exactly what to do.
Nice.
So the next step, now this is fully dry, and you'll know that it's dry because it will be this colour. It gets much lighter colour, and once it's fully dry, all the way over, completely even. So the next step is the base coat. So that is kind of a key step. I always think it's so easy to miss out, and it's always really tempting not to do it because you just want to start creating and start decorating properly. But it's really important to make sure that once you add your colours afterwards, they are then super strong, and it's just, it makes the whole piece look better.
Okay.
So I do recommend doing it. So we're going to go onto our base coat, which we don't have. Okay, so this is the base coat, comes in the kit. And it's just like a thick white base essentially to go over the clay. You only ever really need 1 coat of it. Like I said, it's always just tempting to skip it, but do it. I do recommend, because it will make your finished piece look much better.
Okay.
So if you just want to squeeze a little bit into the ramekin that you've got, And then again, total personal preference with what paintbrush you want to use, the flat brush or the round brush. Again, I always use the flat brush because I'm impatient and it just covers more, it's just faster.
Okay.
But yeah, it's completely up to you. And just try and get a nice even coat of this all the way around. You don't want to use any water if you don't want it to be diluted or watered down in any way. Just the base coat straight onto the piece.
Okay. And do I just need to do it? Do I need to do it on the bottom of it as well, or just?
You don't at the moment, so whilst it dries. So I would just do the top coat for now, because it's too difficult. But eventually, once the top coat is dry, you flip it over and you do both sides.
Nice. Does it dry white?
Yes, it dries like a solid white.
Okay.
And it just helps, create such a nice base for your colours. And then on the bottom as well, it kind of then seals in the clay. So you wouldn't get any kind of like residue or anything on any surfaces that it's on.
I think I'm gonna stick with the abstract shape.
Love it.
And go for like some swirl lines.
Nice, I think that will look really good.
Nice.
The colours are so nice.
They're great.
They look great, I know. What are you thinking? You're gonna do 2 colours?
Yeah, I'm thinking I like this like pastel red. Maybe with the orange. Nice fun colours.
Yeah, I think they look really good. Summery.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. And the good thing about that kind of pattern is you can just go kind of quite freestyle.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah.
That's my plan. Okay, start with this one first.
This is always like a super relaxing part of it as well.
Yeah.
Such a nice way to spend the evening.
Definitely. I'd love to make a vase. Is that a difficult one?
No, you can definitely do that, and that's on one of the instruction guides that's in the kit as well. So there's literally like a step-by-step,
that's good,
like visual guide on how to do that.
Oops.
Don't worry. If you accidentally paint any bit that you're like you don't mean to, it's really easy to go over.
Okay, good. Because this bit's quite hard to not get it.
Yeah,
in the wrong
no,
spots.
don't worry. If you ever do that, it's like you paint and then you do a second coat and then you kind of have a chance to go over anything that you want to change. It's not too tricky. Cool, you happy with it?
Yeah.
Looks great.
Thanks.
Okay, so you need to leave that to dry and then go in with a second coat and the colours will become like way more opaque and really pop. Cool, so now you've painted it, you're happy with the pattern. The only thing that you would do after this is add your gloss varnish. So this gives it a really nice shine, protects the whole piece and just makes it look great essentially.
Okay, cool.
And once you've done that, the only other thing left to do is take a Polaroid. So we can take a selfie and put it in. How did you feel about it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Feel good about it?
Thank you so much. It was so easy.
Oh my God, of course, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It is always so much easier than you think.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with the result.
Good. Hopefully now you'll feel confident to have a go at the other bits that you've seen
100%.
on socials. There's so much out there, oh my God.
Yeah, lots of inspiration.
Yeah.
Thank you. Looks like a cute photo as well.
Oh, it actually is.